Welcome to Last of the Romans NCAA 25 Texas and Notre Dame Dynasty. And we have a bye week for both teams in week 10. There are 4 weeks left in the season. We're just going to go over some things, starting with the top stories. LSU beat Texas A&M in Texas. Let's see, the top 25 rankings are Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan. At least that's the top five. Um, Scanning over it, Kansas is 8-0, which is kind of interesting. Miami also 8-0. Georgia's 12th, 5-2. Oregon 16th, 6-2. Minnesota's up there. Grayson McCall's got NC State at 17. Somehow Iowa State's number 19. USC is 20 despite being 4-4. Liberty is 21 and 7-0. Colorado is 6-2 and only 23rd. North Texas is 8-0. Illinois beat Oregon, which is insane. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Let's see. So Kansas beat. Oh no, Kansas State lost to Kansas 41-38 in a close game. So I was gonna look at the top classes for recruiting, and Alabama's in first. 3 5 stars, 14 4 stars. Texas is number 2, 3 5 stars, 12 4 stars, and a 3 star. So just a little bit behind Alabama. And Notre Dame is in fourth behind Miami, with 19 total recruits, 14 of them 4 stars, and 5 of them 3 stars. Yeah, I didn't even bother recruiting 5 stars with Notre Dame because everything's out of pipeline, and there was no interest in the top five for Notre Dame, so or in the 5 star group. So I just focused hard on 4 stars and 3 stars and found some gems. Oregon's number 5. See if there's anybody surprising. Not really. Arkansas is kind of low though. Let's have a look at the Heisman watch. Trayshawn Holden, Oregon's wide receiver, is number 1 after 236 yards against Illinois and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Thomas from LSU in second with 150 yards and 3 touchdowns last game against A&M. And then Trey Moore in third, only had 4 tackles against Vanderbilt. Brady Cook had 302 yards again and 5 touchdowns against Alabama, 1 interception. Pretty good game. Dylan Gabriel, 458 yards and 5 touchdowns with 1 interception against Illinois. Somehow that moved him into the Heisman watch. Let's have a look at the award watch list with 4 more weeks to go. Oben's coming in 4th for Player of the Year, although he broke his arm and is out for 3 weeks, I believe. Head Coach of the Year is going to North Texas's coach. Best quarterback Brady Cook, and then Dylan Gabriel, and then Jackson Arnold, Cameron Ward, Jalen Daniels, Cameron Rising, Grayson McCall, Carson Beck. Carson Beck's really low on here. Chandler Morris, Luke Altmaier from Illinois, and then finally Shedeur Sanders. No Quinn Ewers to be seen, which is a bit disappointing, and no Riley Leonard. Defensive Player of the Year is looking like Trey Moore, but Riley Mills might be able to catch up. Benjamin Morrison has been really good. Mason Graham is a monster for Michigan. For defensive back, it's Morrison and then Muhammad, so Notre Dame's guy, and then Texas's. Actually, we're just kind of dominating the lists. I wonder if that's because there's more deflections in user games than there are in CPU. I'm not positive. Best running back is looking like Ollie Gordon II, and then Trayvon Henderson. Can't pronounce the Rutgers running back's name. Damian Martinez for Miami, though, and Devin Neal from Kansas. CJ Baxter is somehow in 7th, even though we don't really focus on running the ball. Best receivers, Avian Thomas, Trayshawn Holden, Zariah Beeson from Troy. That's kind of interesting. He's only rated 74. Doesn't have any abilities. This dude, McMillan, I've heard might sneak into the first round or might even be the first wide receiver off the board in the draft. He does look to be injured, though, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, Miami's got some good receivers. Oh wait, I thought no, okay, he's Arizona. It's Restrepo, that's Miami. Let's see. So Lombardi Trophy presented the Defensive Lineman of the Year, Trey Moore naturally. Unitas to the best senior QB, Dylan Gabriel. Although I thought Brady Cook was ahead of him in another poll, so that's a bit confusing. Best defensive end, Trey Moore. Best interior, Tate Rattledge from Georgia. Oh, Ashton Craig is up there, top 12. Best tight end, Mitchell Evans and then Amari, which is no surprise because I do use my tight ends quite a bit. Broyles Award, the assistant coach of the year, is going to Johnny Kent of North Texas. The Notre Dame offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are showing up as well. Best linebacker, Kareem Reed. Harold Perkins, probably only missing this award due to injury. Ismail Mondon, another candidate, I would say. Oh, but Jack Kaiser was coming in 12th. Jake Majors for center. Ashton Craig as well up there. Number 3, actually. Let's see. Lou Grosso Award, the best kicker. Well, this one I'm definitely not winning with anybody. Yeah, our kicking has been terrible. I'll show you the stats a bit later. Best punter. Yeah, we're definitely not up there either because base game Heisman punting is really trash. You gotta bump it up to like 55 or 60. I'm not really sure. Might even be higher than that. We do have Niblet coming in 2nd for best special teams returner. He's got a touchdown on a kick return and on a punt return. Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame, did take some returns this year and is showing up at 7th. Alright, so that's the watch list. Let's have a look at the college football bracket right now, what it's looking like. So Oklahoma is getting the bye in the top left, and will face the winner of Penn State and LSU. Kind of expect LSU to win that, but Drew Allar might have a good game, who knows. Bottom left corner, we have Clemson taking the bye with the 4th seed, and facing the winner of Ohio State and Liberty, and I think we both know who is going to win that. Kansas in the bottom right, 8-0, taking up the 3rd seed and facing the winner of our Notre Dame versus Oklahoma State game. And then Michigan at the top right to face the winner of the Texas and Miami game. Of course, these are all subject to change. We still have 4 more weeks to go. Let's have a look at the schedule so far and just yeah, look at what's happened. So 41-14 over Colorado State. Close game against Michigan the next week, 35-28, winning only by a touchdown. University of Texas San Antonio we beat in kind of a shootout. I don't know how they scored so many points. I guess that was before I got the sliders fixed, or at least adjusted. UL Monroe only put up 14 against us. We almost had 50 again. 56 against Mississippi State, which is actually a decent team, although they're 1-7, so maybe not. Bye week, and then we lost to Oklahoma by a touchdown, which was devastating, really. And then we had that one touchdown win against Georgia, and then just kind of ran away with it against Vanderbilt. We've got Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M coming up, so that's actually kind of a tough stretch. Although Florida's only 3-4, I don't know what happened to Graham Mertz. Arkansas 5-3, Kentucky 6-2, Texas A&M 5-3. Those will be tough though. I guess let's have a look at the stats, and then we'll switch to Notre Dame. So almost 2,500 yards for Quinn Ewers, 29 touchdowns, 9 interceptions is a bit high, 76 completion percentage, averaging about 300 yards a game, 216 rating, which is probably one of the best in college football, 12.1 yards per attempt. He's been sacked 22 times. Yep, let's have a look at the running back. Baxter's at 717 yards with 7 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry. Yeah, you'll notice later when I get to Notre Dame that Jeremiah Love only has 2 touchdowns rushing, so that's why, despite him having more yards, Baxter is rated better, at least in the polls. Blue, the backup's not doing much. Wisner got 1 carry. For receiving, Silas Bolden is the leader with most receptions and yards and touchdowns. Yeah, he's doing really well. Amari, the tight end, has 34 catches, 632 yards, so averaging more per reception, and 8 touchdowns as well. So very good season so far for our tight end. Matthew Golden has 7 touchdowns in 25 catches, 543 yards, so he's averaging quite a bit per catch. Isaiah Bond, who's often our our bubble screen target, he's got 425 yards on 27 catches, so not as good of an average, and only 3 touchdowns. We got to figure out a way to get him involved more. Niblet, the backup, has 156 yards on 7 catches, and 2 of them went for touchdowns. So he's having a great year for a backup. Gunnar Helm only has 4 catches for 20 yards, but has 2 touchdowns. That's our backup tight end. Blocking, Campbell is giving up the most sacks, followed by Connor and Majors. Let's see, for defense, the most tackles is by Javion Cole, which is a bit weird for a cornerback to be leading in tackles, but he does kind of play the nickel spot, I believe. So he's more of a nickel backer than a cornerback. Barron coming in second, and Taffy, who actually, I think this guy plays linebacker mostly for us, because I always see him in like the middle linebacker, right outside linebacker spot. Tackles for a loss, Trey Moore, of course. Broughton behind him with 15. Sacks is going to be Trey Moore again, 11. Broughton again behind him, 6.5. Interestingly, Bledsoe's behind him with 3. And Anthony Hill, kind of having a disappointing season, really. I'd expect more out of him. Gavin Holmes and Malik Muhammad leading in interceptions and in deflections. Forced fumbles, we are not forcing a whole lot of them. Defensive touchdowns, Malik Muhammad has 4 pick sixes, it looks like. Kicking, we're awful. We're truly awful. I mean, 48 of 48 extra points, but 3 for 8 on field goals. Punting, pretty awful here too, only 32.6 yards per punt. so I had to turn that up, and hopefully it'll be better in the future. The return game, Niblett's got a touchdown, averaging pretty good yardage. Same for his punt return game. He's got one touchdown there too. All right, well that's it for Texas. I'm gonna switch over to Notre Dame, and then we can get to the cumulative stats for the whole league, I guess, at the end of this. So the schedule for Notre Dame started out with A&M, which we beat them by a healthy margin. Northern Illinois beat them 38-13. Purdue gave us a bit more trouble. They put up 21 points against us. Miami University, for some reason, put up a really good fight. I don't understand how, but 31-24. Louisville was 27-7. Yeah, that one was surprisingly easy because they were ranked at the time. Stanford, another 27 point offensive output for us, but 22 points given up, which is pretty bad against a 3-5 team. Georgia Tech, we beat 33-15. That one wasn't too bad. And then Navy, that one was just fun, although we did give up too many points. But we've got Florida State, Virginia, Army, and USC coming up. I mean, two of those games are easy enough, Virginia and Army, but Florida State and USC could both be problems. I think we can just get to stats. I think that's all there's really. Oh, well, let's check the injury report and see how long Oben is out. So yeah, it is 3 weeks for him and 3 weeks for Kaiser as well. That is not ideal. Stats for the team, Leonard's at 2,300 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, so less yards, less touchdowns, and more interceptions than yours. But he is rated a little bit lower, only completing 64% of his passes, averaging 290 yards a game instead of 300, and 184.6 rating instead of over 200. He's been sacked a bit more than Ewers, 24 times instead of 22. Let's have a look at the running back. So Jeremiah Love has 824 yards, but only 2 touchdowns, which is weird. Let's see. So Price is doing decently as a backup. Riley Leonard's actually had some rushing yards. For the receivers, Mitchell Evans is leading, the tight end, that is. He's got 9 touchdowns, 778 yards, 50 catches. Greathouse behind him, 622 yards, 8 touchdowns. Bo Collins, 366 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chris Mitchell, who's supposed to be, I believe, the best receiver other than Mitchell Evans, is at only 12 catches for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. The backup tight end has 15 catches, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So for the offensive line, Shruth is giving up the most sacks, followed by Jaguza. For the defense, Snead is leading in tackles. Tackles for loss is Riley Mills and Oben. Sacks is Oben, Mills following him with 6. Interceptions is Morrison, who's been extremely good this season. He's also got 7 deflections, which leads the team by a bit. And 4 of his interceptions were pick sixes. The kicking game, again, truly awful. 27% of the field goals. So yeah, not a good season for kicking. Only 29.5 yards on the punts as well. Ford has taken over the punt returning and kick returning duties. 266 yards for him so far in kicks. Not much in punting. Actually, Price looks to be the one that has taken over there. Not a great average, though. Oh yeah, I was gonna show the league-wide stats. I don't know if there's an easier way to get to this, or if you just have to do it like this. Alright, so passing is Dylan Gabriel right now, almost 3,000 yards. He's got a healthy lead over Bohannon, the BYU quarterback. North Texas's quarterback, Chandler Morris, is pretty high up there too. Fafita, Arizona's quarterback, almost 2,500 yards, same as Carson Beck. Ewers is right up there with some of the best quarterbacks. For touchdowns, Dylan Gabriel has 35 with only 2 interceptions. Chandler Morris 31 with 5. The LSU quarterback 31 with 7. Goose Crowder for Troy 31 and 5. 30 and 3 for Brady Cook, and then Ewers 29 and 9. Leonard 27 and 10. So yeah, we're throwing a lot of interceptions. But, there's a lot of touchdowns too, and we're winning, so I guess it's alright. Let's see, for quarterback rating, Ewers is the leader for statistically relevant quarterbacks. Oh, interesting. Cincinnati's Drogosh is up there with only 17 attempts, though. But yeah, he leads Dylan Gabriel, so he should be the one that's arguably in control of the Heisman, but that's not how voting's going. So for running, Ollie Gordon's leading, 914 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jeremiah Love is actually right behind him. Just not with touchdowns, that's for sure. And he has 3 fumbles. Donovan Edwards up there. Jordan Waters for NC State. Cooley for Liberty. Trey Yanum for Kentucky. And then Baxter for Texas, of course. Of course, his yards per attempt is not very good, even compared to Love, who's got 6, which is 1.3 yards more than him per attempt. For touchdowns, Watkins is leading the Tulsa running back, and Jaquindon Jackson for Arkansas is up there with 10. And the Boston College quarterback also has 10. Most fumbles, yeah, it's Love. Just curious. So for receiving, Trayshawn Holden's leading. Pefeli Ashlock from Hawaii is behind him. And it takes a while to get to Hunter. He's number 6, number 6. Mitchell Evans is really high up for a tight end. For touchdowns, yeah, Holden's at 18, Beeson 17. I don't know how Beeson's having such a good season. I wonder how many drops he has. 3. Huh. See about reception or run after catch. We don't have anyone up there. See about drops. Larry Simmons. Yeah, I doubt we have anyone up here for drops. Nope, I don't see anybody. So looking at blocking, the worst offensive linemen are James Madison's Toner. North Texas tackle Lee. Auburn's Percy Lewis and Cal Stoffel. Tackles, the leader is Georgia Tech's Efford. Tackles for a loss. Oh, it's not even showing our guys because we have someone on both teams that would take that, would lead that over them. Yep, and we have guys that have more sacks than that too. See if it even shows. Nope, it's not showing us for interceptions either. Wonder why that is. Well, anyways, it's probably the extent of what I wanted to go over for the bye week, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.